Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Just to Recap episode of the High School Jesters 11th season. My name is Warren Sprague. I'm here with
Kopy.
That's right, the Kopy, everybody. That's the Kopy right here in front of you. He's shaking his head already. He doesn't want the highlight, but too bad, because today, for our first ever episode of Just to Recap, or Jester Recap, whatever you guys think is more fun, we're going to be doing what I would like to call a quick recap of every single show, or shows from a hat. Yes. Kopy, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to pull out a show right here in front of you, and you're going to tell us exactly what you enjoyed or remember from the show, giving us some quick highlights.
Sure.
And then we'll move right along. Sound good?
Sounds fine.
Hey, show number 4 from the week, Chaparral versus Valley.
It was nice to see. It was nice to see a couple of new people mixed in with a couple of those veterans. How much the veterans have grown, and then the new people, I think, felt comfortable. I thought both teams were stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year.
Yeah. Glad to hear it. I know that Gio has been a real force over at Valley for a little while.
And Julian too. So those two are definitely a duo.
Yeah, very good. Glad to see that there's improvement all around. And show number 10, Burkhart versus Cimarron.
I can't get Marley's Survivor out of my head. She ended up being the last person in Survivor and called herself cute based for playing another character, and she says, "Oh, that cute girl over there," talking about her original character, and I just can't get it out of my head.
Nice.
Fun. There's a couple new people in that show too, both teams. Fun. It was just a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, and Cimarron coming along strong.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
they've got veterans. They picked up a couple of transfer students. The only school to pick up multiple transfer students from other schools last year. They're going to be just fine.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Cimarron. I always feel like they're a great team. So certainly Burkhart is going to give them a run for money this past week, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Show number 1, Las Vegas High School versus LVA.
I wanted that show to be first. I think it lived up to the hype. That was cool. LVA was one of the only schools to play 3 new people in the first show, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
Ashley over at Las Vegas. This is her 3rd year. She's definitely the veteran over there. She's gotten a lot of praise over the past few years.
Yeah, she's a focal point for that team. So
good fun for a show for sure. Good crowd too. Host shows typically have a good crowd.
That's awesome. Yeah, Friday nights are a lot easier to make it out to for a lot of people. So that's really cool. How about show number 11, Centennial versus Arborview?
Everything about both of those teams and that show just registered to me as adorable. Centennial was another team of 3 new people and 1 veteran. And then Arborview had 4 veterans up there, and just everything they did together was adorable. Even if you look back at the pictures that are online of their little hand hearts and things, just very cute, very adorable.
Good. And C, how about game 6, A-Tech, Cheyenne?
Wow, man, this one was interesting for me. So Cheyenne was like a whole new ball of wax. Let's call them a new school almost. And then A-Tech just picked up right where they left off, but better. So A-Tech had an awesome week. Cheyenne is like a new squad. Yeah, that was fun to be a part of.
So we know Sean from A-Tech was nominated for Most Improved Player in the League last year.
He was up there.
But I hear there's a new face at A-Tech that...
Well, not even just that. Sean's sister was in that show. Jonathan was in that show. Jonathan's like the leader of the A-Tech crew. And then they had a newbie up there too who was just as strong as they were.
Awesome.
So Nick. And yeah, A-Tech was super strong this weekend.
Good. Yeah, A-Tech, always a team to watch moving forward ever since they came into the league. Good job over there, Coach Song. How about game number 5, Desert Pines versus Legacy?
So what's cool about that one was that's 2 comedy sports guys. So Alex and Justin as the coaches.
Yeah.
So they opened the show with a little "What You Got."
Yes.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in the league were like, "What? Ooh.
What's this?" Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of What You Gots in the season, I think.
So it was fun. It was definitely fun. And for me, Legacy played a couple of new people, and new people who had such good energy that I think it made Marshall and Maya even stronger. Marshall and Maya were from last year's Legacy team. And then Desert Pines played 4 veterans, and they just went up there and bulldozed. They just had fun.
Good.
Good show.
I'm glad. Glad the energy was up. It's sometimes hard to capture that even on the first week, so I'm glad that they were killing it. How about Clark versus Durango, show number 8? Classic rivalry.
Yep. Yeah, that's been around a minute.
Yeah.
Clark had 4 veterans up there, and Durango had 1 veteran. They had Emmy up there and 3 newbies.
Wow.
I remember even talking to Coach Karina before that and really wanting to play those 3 newbies because of how much they've showed during the off season, or the preseason, I should say. So that's been awesome. But then they had a great match, so played some fun, weird games, and they did their thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it was really entertaining. Big shout out to Megan Minner. 4 years, girl. Proud of you.
That's right.
Keep killing it.
Vanessa too.
And Vanessa too. That's absolutely true, both of them. I'm happy that they're seniors and moving forward. How about East Tech versus Basic, show number 3 of the week? Capped off those Friday shows, right?
It did. So I'm judging all of the shows just like a judge will in the playoffs, and this was the best show score-wise of the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So most competitive. Show was close. Their scores were amongst the highest of the entire league. Both teams did really well. I thought Basic was a strong team. I thought East Tech was funny. It just, they played well together. They played a 17-minute What Are You Doing?
Whoa.
Yeah, so the 8 kids played 17 minutes of What Are You Doing?
That's not a rookie game, actually. It's hard to have that game played well. So week 1, I kind of wish I saw that show now. How about number 12, Mojave versus Rancho?
The Battle of the Greens. So those Rancho kids are just so in love with doing this, and Mojave had all 4 up there were veterans. Little Hot Cheeto made herself known from Mojave DJ. And not to mention the new hairstyle. So Rancho and Mojave had fun together, and I think I remember that even going back to last year they had fun together. So that was a fun show.
Cool. New era for Mojave, right? Some new faces there?
Yes, but just not this week. This week it was 4 veterans.
Fair enough. Number 7, Bonanza versus Desert Oasis.
So this one being the first week was fun because they played each other twice last year, one of which was a playoff show, which for me was somewhat of a coin flip on Dio and Bonanza. So this week coming back into it, they played some veterans. There are a couple of new people over at Bonanza. But it's fun to just see what Eva has turned into for Bonanza. And then we got a couple 3-year players playing over at Dio still. So Haley and Lauren, and then some 2 years behind them. So
I hear Anthony's still in the league.
Anthony.
Sorry, tall, Caucasian, bowl cut hair. Don't worry.
Either of those teams? Nope.
Desert Oasis?
Nope. Antonio.
There we go!
Yes. Antonio. Antonio was not there. He was not in the first show.
Okay, cut that whole thing from this segment. And here we go. Number 14, Del Sol versus Silverado.
That was how we closed the weekend. It was the final show. Del Sol is going to be one of the veteran teams this year with a handful of 4-year players and just players that have been in it for a while, obviously. And then Silverado's got some veterans too. So both teams, I think there's only one new person between the 2 teams. Nick over at Silverado being in his 3rd year, Janaya 3rd year, and so on. So they played a fun show. Only dating game, I think, of the weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dating game. It was nice to see that. That was the only show I got to see this past weekend. Obviously, once again, Nick is one of the funniest people in our league, though.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, man. I'll say some of that weirdo has rubbed off on his teammates. So Nathan had a very Nick moment for sure.
That's true. The running around the room, banging on the door, yeah.
Very Nick moment.
Nathan's taken some steps forward for sure. That team could definitely improve as the year goes on. So great to see a good game there. And how about number 2, El Dorado, Sunrise Mountain?
Yeah, man. So Sunrise made it very clear why they ended up in the Final Four last year and in their very first show. So, and then El Dorado, a brand new team, brand new school. So nerves, of course, is there. So talk about 2 very different teams in very different situations, and then having come together and put on a good show, and they did. So El Dorado did a forward reverse that I ended up inventing rules for as the game was going on.
What happened?
It was just one of those situations where it's like, this would be cool if we did this, and then everyone reacted great. So that's what happens.
What'd you do, like a freeze frame or something?
We did freeze frames. I did some dubs. I did some other weird stuff that I threw on top of the scene, and it worked. It worked out fun.
That's awesome. I'm glad it was only glad that could have been a lot worse, right? It always can be. Number 13, SECTA versus Green Valley.
So, Secta is going to be a whole new animal this year. A lot of new kids, a lot of everything. The energy was so much more positive. It felt just as a whole. They had 2 new people and 2 veterans. I was happy with where Secta was at. Green Valley, not necessarily a whole new group of people, but new people, and still growing, still learning, still being stronger. So anytime I can look at 2 new teams and think that they're stronger than the prior year, that is always what I'm looking for.
That's the win-win, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and Secta, it's been a blast getting to come by and coach every once in a while with you. Kudos to Coach Danette over there, who's done a great job building that program with a new energy. Sean Ingalls was my teacher way back when I was 16, so I'm glad to see Secta getting a nice big team this year with a lot of energy. And finally, another team close to my heart was Sierra Vista and Spring Valley, show number 9.
Very even matchup. Both teams did new and old as far as players. A lot of funny moments, a lot of weird moments. Especially when you have Spring Valley up there and you got Hector. Hector is just this weird left brain guy. And then over on Sierra Vista, Viv picked up right where she left off for Sierra Vista. Dez had a really strong show. And then their 2 newbies, I mean, Fuji, like, where did that guy come from?
Cool.
Braxton as well. So, very even show. It was cool that it was right in the middle of the day to see a show that even on Saturday. So
good. Sounds like it was a pretty strong first week of shows, lots of energy. But we move on to another segment that I want to talk about, which we call our props. As you all know, we don't use props in improv comedy, at least not in the Jesters realm, but there are a few props that you can give out to some of the different performers, students, and staff members around the league for an outstanding first week. Do you want to give any out that might come to mind? I'm looking for at least 3.
Sure. Let me start with staff. We all got to see Josh Kelly up there during all those shows.
Hey, Josh!
Josh was a big force in the league as a player, and he's kind of learning the ropes as far as what to do. And that's tough, man. I watched him burn out as well as the rest of the staff.
Yeah.
So we've got new bosses backstage with Corey and Jesse, Rachel out there helping us with camera. We got a handful, and it's a long weekend. So let me start with staff for sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Beth and Bree being back. I mean, it was so nice to have those 2 just having 0 questions, just doing what they do.
True. Sure.
The other side, I'll give props to Sunrise. Wow, just wow. It's so hard to... I made the comment to them after their show that sometimes you just meet a group of people that are special and that they're special to you, and you want to relish that. And I talked to them about how special they are together, and I hope they enjoy this year as much as they can, because unfortunately, once you all graduate, life goes on, so I hope they can get what they can get.
Is this senior year for all of them?
No, Ronnie surprisingly is not, but the rest are all seniors.
I gotta say that if I can just share on that, Sunrise Mountain I know more personally than you might expect, because I actually got to coach Luis, Ronnie, and Dion when they were still middle school students as part of the After School All-Stars program over at, I can't remember the middle school, of course,
yeah,
but
there was a bunch.
Yeah, it's great to see them basically being the trendsetters of our league comedically. So yeah, that's a great prop to hand out. One more maybe?
One more. I'll give it to Coach Miley over at Cheyenne.
Nice.
It was so nice to see Miley's hard work in the preseason come and pay off, and to see that team there and giving it a shot. I know she's still learning. She's young. She was our MVP last year. But sometimes performing and coaching are 2 different things, or performing and teaching are 2 different things. So my tip of the hat to Miley.
Good job transitioning into the coaching role, Miley. We're excited to have you as part of the staff for sure. And great, so 3 props. Just because we don't use them doesn't mean we can't give them. We've got a couple more things to talk about before we end off today, and I want to say that you might have Kopy's challenge for us all. We all know those games that he plays at the end of the shows when there's extra time, but what about a Kopy's challenge as we mentally transition into next week? Is there something more you'd like to see from the league as a whole that we as the coaches can be focused on?
We've got roughly 1,000 students in the league, but there are almost 600 of them that never actually make it into a show. I would love to see more new people in these shows to give them an opportunity. It's great we had all these veterans in this past week, but I would love to see more new faces give it a shot. So if you are a new face that watched your veteran team and you're nervous about it, trust me, I will take care of you. You will be just fine up there. Between Josh, Roman, and myself, you're going to be just fine. So more new people, whether it's this week or just as the course of the season.
Yeah, let's get some rotation going, guys. New faces make the league fresh year after year. So thanks for the new students coming in. Your time is coming. One last thing to ask you, Kopy, just for fun. Everybody loves the league, everybody loves you, but they know so little about you. So just for fun, I'm going to ask you one quick question from your childhood, buddy. What was your favorite breakfast cereal growing up?
O's.
You mean
Quaker O's. That's what they're called. They're called O's. It's
no sugar, right? I think I know what you're talking about.
No.
The multi-grain things with no flavor, or what?
No, there's plenty of flavor. They're like honey. they're called O's. They're still in the stores, but they're not popular.
But it has to be Quaker with the creepy guy
with the weird
Amish
old
hat.
guy
Yeah.
in the Amish hat. Quaker O's.
Well, that's it, guys. That's your Kopy Fact of the Week. My name's Warren Sprague. This has been Kopy. This has been Just to Recap. And we'll see you guys next week for all of what happens coming up at Clark this week. 6 p.m. shows on Friday. 8 a.m. is when everything starts on Saturday. So get yourself out there, see some improv, play some improv. We'll see you guys next week with another recap. Take it easy.